This is Cage Minds. I'm Micah Frankel. UFC Fight Night 77 takes place in Brazil. We're 11 days away, I believe is what it is, and we're welcoming in Anthony Birchak, who's fighting on that card, taking on Thomas Almeida. It's El Toro, the Bull. How you feeling, sir?
Feeling like a world champion, man. You know, I've had one of the best camps I've had of one of my career of my entire career. You know, this one camp has I actually jumped right back into camp after Joe Soto, and I couldn't be feeling better leading into this fight, man.
An emotional win. How gratifying was that knockout of Joe Soto? We could see the emotion pouring out of you.
Yeah, man. I mean, I went through a roller coaster in that 30 seconds after. You know, I was like relieved. I was happy. More just alleviated from everything that I had been going through. You know what I mean? That was like there was just so much stuff that had piled up on me. It was finally just so cleansing to finish that guy and get that win and get that out of the way.
The vindication of that moment, and now heading into another fight where you're seemingly the underdog. What's your thoughts on this one coming up?
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I be the underdog? You know, the kid's 20-0. He's got like 19 finishes. You know, he's a tough fighter. You know, and I've been watching him since you know, he was coming up through Legacy, because I absolutely had a feeling that someday me and him down the line would fight. And, you know, I break down everybody by numbers, and I look at what their strengths are. I look at what their weaknesses are. And if you break down Thomas Almeida and you see that, you know, everyone's so hyped up on him that he's good and he's the next best thing and you know, this and that, I look at his who he's fought. Because when you fight the champ and you beat the champ, you are the champion. But when you fight scrubs and you beat scrubs, you're a scrub. You have to look at yourself in the mirror every day and really be honest with yourself about the opposition you faced, you know, and subtract Brad Pickett and Yves Jaboué. Brad Pickett was 1-4 in his last 5, and Yves Jaboué was 3-3 in his last 6 when Thomas beat them. You know, they're great fighters, but they're definitely not at their prime and not at their peak, you know. So for me to see, you know, his record standing at 19-0 or 20-0, whatever it is, and him about to face a legitimate 12-2, where I can look back at my record and maybe say, yeah, maybe I fought only one or two guy early on in my career that was, you know, 0-2 or 0-3. This dude was fighting guys that were 5-3 for the Legacy title, you know what I mean? And he was 16-0. So if you minus Brad Pickett and Yves Jaboué, I take his opposition's win and loss record, and it's 96-97. So all it tells me is that he's been fighting dudes that are 3-3, 5-6, you know, just middle records, you know, guys that are fighting at 500. So, you know, he definitely has his toughest test in me as a fighter, and I truly believe that I'm the guy to give him that one mark on that other side of the record.
Would I be correct in saying I believe he's never fought a grappler like you?
No, and you know, we saw the fight with Tim Gorman, and you know, Tim Gorman was 9-4. He came through the Ultimate Fighter house where it was the both boys and girls mixed in, and you know, I was impressed with Tim. I've rolled with Tim. I've grappled with Tim, and you know, he just doesn't have the level of striking, wrestling, grappling, and the way that I link it together. You know, he's a tough kid, and he gave Thomas his toughest fight. I think that he gave Thomas the best look as far as what a good Midwest wrestler is going to do. You know, and Thomas did a good job of getting up. That's the thing. That's the difference between me and Gorman, is though I'm going to take you down, I'm going to hold you down. I'm going to let you pop back up to your feet, and if I let you pop back up to your feet, it's because I have a nasty combination planned for you when you get there.
So the obvious plan of attack then is to hit Almeida on all levels and keep him thinking.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you know, people try to Muay Thai this Muay Thai fighter, and they lose. You know what I mean? It's not about striking with a striker. It's about mixing it up and giving him a puzzle and a riddle at every turn. You know, Tim Gorman is not a phenomenal striker by any means, and Tim jabbed the shit out of Thomas and even hit him with a left hook that shut Thomas's eye. You know, so at every turn it seems like Almeida loves to get hit and get hurt. He comes forward very aggressively, but it's not like he doesn't get hit. The kid gets hit a lot. You know, it's the trick is to hurt him and keep him hurt. These guys that strike with him, they hurt him and then they sit back and not look to finish, and it just blows my mind on how then he gets into his groove and lets off his combinations, and it's like all of a sudden the guys fall flat.
So you think guys almost get stuck watching him or something, that they get caught up in being defensive?
Yeah, either that or they just forget that they got to stay on the gas pedal against him. You know what I mean? Some guys try to finish, like when Brad Pickett hit him with that left hook and dropped him. I think he dropped him twice in the first round. He didn't try to take his neck and choke him to finish. He tried TKOing him and let Thomas get his wits back about him. And then, you know, we're in round 2, and Brad Pickett's standing right in front of him, no dynamic movement, and here comes Thomas Almeida with a flying knee.
So obviously we're speaking, your movement is going to be a huge key, and then also I think a huge key on the other side of that is Almeida's lack of head movement.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I'm no phenomenal striker myself. I'm not, you know, I don't have a Muay Thai background or a Golden Gloves boxing champion background. Wrestling's what's got me here. Wrestling is what's keeping me here, and the fact that everyone knows that I have a phenomenal takedown is what opens up my striking. You know, and I think as long as I keep Almeida thinking and keep the pressure on him like a wrestler should and does, I'm gonna walk away with this win.
So how much does this win help you with that name, taking his undefeated record? What would that do helping you get along in the rankings?
Dude, that'll put me right there at the top 10, man. I know Frankie Saenz beat Yuri Alcantara when Yuri was number 8, and you know they put Frankie, and I think it was in the top 15. I you know, like I said, I beat Joe Soto, who was ranked number 14 for losing to the champion. Who gets ranked for losing to the champion? You know what I mean? That's why I didn't really put too much emphasis on where I should be ranked. But when I beat Thomas Almeida, I definitely belong in the top 10 and fighting another top 10 fighter shortly after that.
When you're looking at the division, and you said you foresaw Almeida, how many guys out there have you not foreseen yourself fighting then almost? Have there been guys you thought that were in the same weight class but are passable in class, or you kind of have that mentality of competing against everybody?
Yeah, no, I mean, the guy that got thrown back into my division that's kind of like a curveball who's uber dangerous is John Lineker. You know what I mean? He's gonna pose some big problems for a lot of people in the 135-pound division.
And then he's up there ranked in the top 12 right now. I believe he's at number 12. And he put together some phenomenal hands. Were you surprised seeing that and his ability to stay standing in that firefight with Rivera?
No, I mean, no, not at all. You know, the kid, that's his game. That's his game is to lure you in a slop shit fight. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he wants to do. You know, there's no technical ability to him to pick shots. He throws hooks. He throws uppercuts. You know, and they call him the hands of stone, you know, and that's the thing is he lured Cisco into that fight, and even Cisco said it best, bro. He goes, I'm Mexican. If you're going to challenge me to a swing fest, we're going to swing, you know, but he was just on the ass end of that exchange, and it didn't pay off for Cisco on that one. And he landed big shots.
Right, that's what I'm surprised about is the fact that that Cisco got put on his butt. Lineker didn't really back off of it, and you're like, that's the bigger dude there.
Yeah, exactly.
That was amazing. Another guy that's made some headlines recently in division, Aljamain Sterling, and I heard from him a while ago. He said he didn't know if it'd be, you know, in the best interest of his future financially to keep competing in the UFC or to keep fighting MMA. Did you have any thoughts about him and where he's going?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like Johnny Eduardo said, he seems like a confused kid. You know what I mean? I don't even want to talk about the guy, to be honest, because I'm the one that challenged him to a fight after New Orleans, and then he goes, oh, no one wants to fight me. So he got amnesia real quick, so I don't even want to talk about that kid.
I figured you'd have a little something to say. That was good enough there, and I just thought it was awkward because I know many of you guys, such as yourself, took 10, 12 fights to get up to the UFC level, and I can't imagine you saying, no, this wasn't worth it, and the money's just not good enough.
Well, I mean, when we'll talk about that, we can talk about that. I just don't want to talk about algebra. We can talk about the fact that there's guys that are in the NFL that aren't still roofing or working at their dad's company. They're in the NFL. That's it. That's their job, and they get paid to be the best in the world. We are the best in the world at what we do, and unfortunately, there's still firefighters and construction workers and guys that are working in office in our job rather than fully being able to sit back on a fat $1 million paycheck like these NFL, NBA, and MLB guys. It is sad, and the fact that we were just talking about the Reebok thing again. It's $2,500 from 0 to 5 fights. 0 to 5 fights in the UFC is a career.
Exactly. I was stunned the other day when I heard that Dan Henderson is going to be breaking into like the 4th tier. You figure some guys that were veterans, you'd get that seniority already, but there is ridiculousness out there in that deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's just 0 to 5 fights. It's not like we sign year deals like the other sports, NFL, Major League Baseball, basketball. You don't sign a 5-year contract for $10.5 million and get $2 million a year. You know what I mean? It's you sign a 4-fight deal where you can lose 2 fights or even 1 fight and they can cut you. You know what I mean? There's nothing solidifying the fact that you're the best in the world.
Right. So where do you see a day or an ability where things like that get changed, even to the point of just a guaranteed contract for what you do have in front of you?
It may, but I don't think it's going to be any time in my career. It's going to be, probably a couple of the amateurs guys that I got coming up right now. They might be able to see some change, and prosper from it. But I'm kind of in this middle area of the UFC where they're big and they got maybe a little too big for their own good too fast, and they're having growing pains, and I feel like some of the decisions being made as of lately are just what's easy, not what's right.
And is it a little, do you feel that there is some harsh criticism towards the UFC and towards the growing pains of the process for MMA? Because we've been around 20, 25 years, and you're looking at the NBA, NFL. These leagues have been established from 50 to 70 to baseball for hundreds of years.
So the question was, do I think the criticism is too harsh?
Has there been any harsh criticism, or would you say that there's too much because there is certain growing pains because they're still a young product? I understand a lot of criticism is fair.
No, I think the criticism is fair. I think it's because whether we're young or not, if you're going to say that we're the best in the world and that you stand by your product as the UFC being the NFL of fighting, then treat us as such, because we know the money's there. You know what I mean? It's just not there for us.
Right, and just recently, I want to say, Bloody Elbow, there was a financial report that came out due to some of the findings in the new court procedure. Did you see that article?
I did not.
I believe it actually estimated something about $522 million was what the profit the UFC made last year. And it basically had a scale. And these were, again, some rough estimates. They didn't have all the hard numbers. They were making their own estimates off the stuff. And it estimated that UFC fighters are getting about 16% of profit, as to where in the NBA, the NFL, these major leagues, they are up to nearly in the high 40s of revenue sharing, as to where for you guys it's down about 16%.
Yeah, I mean, it's numbers like those. Like I said, I'm a big numbers guy, and the proof is in the pudding, and numbers don't lie. So if you can see that, players and owners of the NFL is a 51-49% share split, and you can see that in MMA it's almost 85-15, there's something there that's not adding up correctly, you know, and if you're going to preach that we're the best, then make us believe we're the best by paying us the best.
So from that point, when you look at obviously the money you're making now, in that percentage, you'd like to be making more. But did you feel that from the minor leagues to the major leagues, there was that significant of an increase for you in revenue?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I felt the increase, you know what I mean? I'm not greedy. I'm just saying, you know, even minor league baseball players are making, you know, this amount of money. So if we're in the minor leagues, technically, when you're fighting on on Legacy or RFA or the MFC, you know, and that's technically the minor league organizations that are bringing you up, then you should be making, you know, media money, which wasn't even happening. You know what I mean? Unless you were a former Olympic gold medalist or, you know, 17-time world boxing champion, you know, that those numbers didn't happen. But now that you're in the major leagues, everyone needs to be making major league money. And I've said this numerous times, bro. I never got paid in my 1,000 wrestling matches ever because I love what I do and I don't care about really about what money that I'm making now because, like I said, I get to do what I love. So out of all those thousands of wrestling matches that I never complained once that I was doing for free, why am I going to complain now? My point is that I don't really care about the pay, but if you're going to say we're the best, then pay us like we're the best.
That's definitely a great, fair sentiment. Now, on that, talking about Reebok, what have your thoughts been of the actual gear? We're talking about the shorts, the jersey, any of the functionality or anything, because we know they're god-awful looking.
I haven't seen anything. I got to try on a pair of shorts and you know, some of the systems that they're having for the fighters. I like them, you know what I mean? The shorts were awesome. They were super lightweight. It was like you weren't wearing anything at all, so you're fighting naked. And definitely the Vale Tudo style shorts that I like, that's exactly what I want to feel. I don't want to have to feel any binding or any anything getting caught up. The shorts are awesome that I've felt and worn, but the winter gear, all the stuff that I've been handed to in my fighter bag, all the products awesome. The shoes, I wear the shoes every day, and there's this one pair of ugly ass shoes that I got, but oh my God, are they the most comfortable pair that I've ever put on my feet.
So from before, when we were having trouble getting you some Reeboks, now the gear is all right once you've got to try it, though.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I'm just for the record, I'm not sponsored by Reebok, so me saying that they are some comfortable shoes, they're some comfortable shoes.
Right, exactly. He's not getting any extra for that. Now, we know you're active all the time. How many of your sponsors have you actually been able to keep around throughout this transition?
I kept a lot, actually. Booster Fight Gear still does all my fight gear, you know, shin guards, gloves, Muay Thai shorts, all that training stuff that I need, my headgear, all the stuff that keeps me safe. Damage control mouth guards out there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Obviously, you know, they can't tell me I can't wear a mouthpiece. So, you know, Delano and all them out there, Vic and the team out at DC have kept my teeth nice and shiny and made sure that my brain's still intact by absorbing all that impact. I got Zyphos Training and Tactical, which is a tactical group here in Tucson. They do firearms training, executive protection, all kinds of stuff like that. Who else stayed with me? Oral IV. Oral IV has been actually the one that's been making the most noise lately since the IV ban has hit. Oral IV is a micronized water or purified water with trace mineral and electrolytes in it. So that's what I'm using to stay hydrated throughout my whole camp. We just got Diego Sanchez on it. We just got Stormin Norman Park and Ryan Benoit. So there's some big dudes in the UFC that are using it right now, and they're seeing all the benefits of what it's like to stay hydrated throughout your camp, even through your weight cut. And then, of course, stepping up the scales of the UFC, being able to drink a vial of Oral IV and keeping your hydration levels up right after right after an exerting weight cut like that.
So for you, for the weight cut, I believe this is going to be your first time traveling nationally or out of the country for an MMA fight, right?
Yes.
So how does that change?
Well, no, not at all. This is probably one of the best diets I've ever been on. I've been since I've been strength training and eating clean. Like I said, I jumped right back into camp after Joe Soto. I've been doing a lot of Olympic lifting and strength and conditioning. My body has actually maintained and plateaued at around 150, 155, and today I woke up at 149. So, I mean, my weight is right in line where I'm usually at. I usually do like a 15 days out, 15 pounds out. That way I can quantify how much I'm going to have to lose per day, and then what I'm going to have to lose when I actually get there from retaining water on the airplane and you know, kind of snacking here and there. But this hydration thing with the IV is what kind of spooked me. So, you know, and I don't it's not like I take 2 or 3 bags or anything like that, or like I'm super depleted. But even then, just having one bag of saline solution in your system is really going to get your body pumping to be able to start breaking food down and absorbing nutrition. So oral IV has played a key role in keeping my body hydrated throughout training and after weigh-in. So I'm not worried about not being able to have an IV on this trip or being able to travel and get the saline solution like I usually do because of oral IV.
So how much was the eating clean and the staying low? Was that anything to do with the change in the rule for the IV hydration, or it's just kind of what happened from eating clean and getting back in camp?
Yeah, whether it was subliminal or subconscious thought, I don't really know. I just started eating clean. You know what I mean? Like I haven't. I didn't really even start drinking beer again after Joe Soto. I'm a big craft beer guy. And I like big, dark, heavy beers, you know, and I didn't really get back into that right away, you know, so I think that and not drinking any soda. I didn't drink any dark sodas. I mean, I'm a big Dr. Pepper dude, and I stuck with, like, Squirt and Sprite and ginger ale, and definitely cutting out the dark sodas, the beers, and the heavy food really did. I saw an immediate change in my physique. And there's been some pictures where I'm hitting pads and videos of me hitting pads and boxing, and I'm just like, dude, that my whole body composition has changed from eating clean and lifting properly.
So from the eating clean, what's something out there you can tell the fans it's a good meal that's still healthy to eat? What's something that you could recommend that's on the top of your list?
I mean, even the pastas, you know what I mean? Like, I'll eat like you know, whole wheat pasta, meat sauce, you know, with chicken on the side and broccoli. I like, even a cheat meal for me is like, you know, like a 6-ounce steak with sweet potatoes and greens. You know, that's like a good hearty meal, but it's healthy because that lean red meat's gonna give you, you know, the stuff you need to fire properly. A doctor once told me that one of the first times that I really started trying this diet, I just went from eating red meat, you know, 3 times a week to just eating fish and chicken and turkey all week. And he was saying that the red meat is good for smaller fighters because we need that fast twitch action that is provided through the iron from the red meat and stuff. So that's what I do now is I still stay eating red meat throughout my diet. And it definitely helps me and my mood a lot better.
You sound in a great mood. We know you said after Halloween you're getting out there to Brazil, getting out there somewhat early. For Halloween, are you dressing up?
I might, man. I got an Iron Man costume for my kid's birthday party. I think if I don't dress up, I got this pretty sick Superman shirt with a cape on the back that I might just wear while I walk the kids around the neighborhood. But the UFC actually wanted to fly me out like on this Friday, and I was like, nah, man, you guys, I got all my kids for Halloween this year. You guys are gonna have to fly me out early Sunday morning.
Well, that's awesome that you guys were able to come to that agreement, and good luck with you and the flock of kids in the neighborhood.
You know, I look like a family of quail when they're with me, man. I got mama quail, me, and then I got a little 4 baby quail behind me.
I gotta thank you for the time, Anthony. It's always great talking to you. What's the message for the fans to tune in next weekend?
Guys, I've worked my butt off day in and day out since beating Joe Soto. I haven't sat back and enjoyed anything yet. Tune in November 7th and watch me be the only guy to ever beat Thomas Almeida in his hometown of Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'm about to piss off a whole nation of Brazilians. And all I can say is I'm always put on a show, and I love you guys as the fans. Thank you guys for supporting me and my family through every venture that we do. Be sure to tune in, man. Fox Sports 1.
And then anyone else you needed to shout out to, anything?
Yeah, I got to thank my sponsors. Like I said, Booster Fight Gear, Oral IV, Damage Control Mouth Guards, Zyphos Training and Tactical, Virus International, Killer Cub. Cub Swanson has always helped me out and throw me, put me in some of the flyest gear out there. I got to thank, Luther Elite Sports Management, Torgensen Law Firm. Torgensen Law Firm's another local company that elected to sponsor me for this fight. So I really got to thank Torgensen Law up in Phoenix, Arizona. I got to thank all my training partners at Fight Ready, Coach Tommy Ortiz and Roland Seilerup. I got to thank Henry Cejudo for helping me out, Frankie Saenz for helping me out, Brandon Moreno, Roman Salazar, all the 125er, 135ers right there at Fight Ready that definitely boosted my confidence and letting me know that I'm ready for this fight.
Anthony Birchak, as always, thank you for the time, sir, and best of luck.
All right, Micah. Thank you, man.